Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's take a look at 5 cornerbacks the 49ers can draft not only in the first round, but also some later rounds as well. We know the 49ers, some people think they need a cornerback, some people think they don't need a cornerback, but if you are one who thinks that we do, this video was created just for you. How about that? Let's go ahead and jump right in to the best corner overall in the NFL draft, and one the 49ers probably can't get, but there are ways that they can. Let me go ahead and explain. It's Jeffrey Okudah out of Ohio State. We all know, we've heard the name. He is the best, the #1 cornerback in the NFL draft. It's not even close in terms of how much better he is than everybody else. CJ Henderson, Trevon Diggs, he's better than all the rest of them. Great in coverage, but he's also great in run support, which is something you do not see for the majority of cornerbacks coming out in this year's draft. A lot of them will be great in man coverage, or great in press man coverage, or great in zone coverage, but the majority of them are very bad in tackling. It's just a normal stat, normal thing for cornerbacks, not with Jeffrey Okudah. He is absolutely fantastic in all phases of being a cornerback and will be a top 10 pick. Now, that's the problem, right? He is not going to fall outside of the top 10. So when we put him on our list of 5 cornerbacks the 49ers can go ahead and draft at number 13 overall, some things would have to happen. First off, you would have to go ahead and hope he falls out of the top 10, and as we look inside the top 10, it's very, very unlikely. Bengals, Redskins, Lions, Giants, and Dolphins, odds are he won't go inside that top 5, because obviously Bengals are going to go quarterback, Redskins are going Chase Young or quarterback, Lions are going Chase Young or quarterback, Giants are probably going to go Isaiah Simmons, Dolphins are probably going to go Tua. So, Jeffrey Okudah falling to the 49ers all depends on those picks 6 through 10. Chargers, Panthers, Cardinals, Jaguars, and Browns. And you look at Chargers, the Panthers, and Jaguars all make a lot of sense in terms of Jeffrey Okudah. There's no way he falls as far as 8. He will not get past the Jaguars at number 8. They've obviously lost Jalen Ramsey. They lost AJ Boye. They need a cornerback. So unlikely that Okudah is going to be there. So, if you're a 49ers fan and you want the 49ers to get a cornerback and you want them to get Jeffrey Okudah, you're going to have to trade up to go ahead and do that. And so it is very, very unlikely. Now, let me just say this. There is a scenario where Okudah could fall to 13, and it would take a lot of quarterbacks going in the first round, or inside the top 10, probably 4. We're talking Herbert, talking Tua, talking Jordan Love, obviously you're talking about Joe Burrow, and then a run on pass rushers and wide receivers. Obviously the Jets, the Raiders, they all need they all need wide receivers. You can make the argument that the Jaguars need a wide receiver as well. So there is a way for him to fall, but it's very unlikely. But I want to start with him because a lot of people are going to go, hey, you're taking 5 cornerbacks the 49ers should draft. Why did you not put Okudah in there? Well, he is in here. He's #1. It's just very, very unlikely that he is going to go ahead and fall. Quick ad break here on YouTube, but I'm very curious. Should the 49ers trade up for Jeffrey Okudah? Because, again, Jacksonville might want to come back. Maybe the Cardinals want to come back. You could make the trade up if you really, really wanted to. Should the 49ers do it? Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at a cornerback that will for sure be there at number 13 and maybe fall to number 31, although more likely number 13. It's CJ Henderson out of Florida, hands down the second best cornerback in the NFL draft. You're getting kind of the rhythm of this show today. We're talking about the ones you get in the first round, and later on we'll have some later round steals as well. Stay tuned for that in this video. Some great steals in the later rounds of the NFL draft at cornerback. Henderson has elite man coverage skills. He's the perfect size to play man coverage as well, right about 6'1", 205 pounds. A lot of the cornerbacks on our list have the size. We'll talk about why that is important a little bit later. He had 6 interceptions his first 2 seasons at the University of Florida, had 0 last year in 2019, which is a little bit concerning, but overall last year he had an ankle injury and still was an all-SEC first-team selection, and had, despite the fact he had no interceptions, still a very respectable and very good year, a good enough year to vault him inside probably the top 20. He's for sure going to be a first-round corner. Here's what the DraftNetwork.com had to say about Henderson. Quote, Henderson catches the ball comfortably, almost as if he's a receiver. He said examples of interceptions at all different area levels. The former Gator defender shows that he can attack the ball out of the air while also scooping it out of lower areas, which is an added incentive that takes his game to another level because of it. Listen, he's a very, very good player overall. I think he's one of the better cornerbacks in this draft. Not named, obviously, Jeffrey Okudah. And he's trying to join the list of Florida cornerbacks in the past 20 years to be taken in the first round alongside Lito Shepherd in 2002, obviously Joe Hayden in 2010, and Vernon Hargreaves in 2016. All 3 of those cornerbacks turned out to be pretty darn good. Shepherd with the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously Hayden with the Browns, and now he moved on to the Steelers, and then Vernon Hargreaves as well. They've all been very, very good the past couple of years. So Florida, it's not DBU like they say, know LSU is DBU, but their first-round cornerbacks have been pretty good over the past couple of years. Let me ask you guys this. If you were the 49ers GM, let's just say you were John Lynch, would you draft a cornerback? And if you did, would you use pick 13 or pick 31? A lot of you guys are going to say pick 31, so in the comments, I just want to gauge my fan base right now. Just type 31 if you use pick 31. Type 13 if you would use pick 13. Again, I like to use the comments to see how you guys are feeling about what I'm talking about in these videos. So if we draft a cornerback, when should we do it? 13 or number 31? I'm going to read your guys' comments in the comments section. Listen, the 49ers might have to wait to get a cornerback in the later rounds, but you don't have to wait right now because we have a sweet t-shirt deal right now at chatsports.com/NinerEmpire. The link's in the description box down below. It's on sale. It's less than, what, $30. It's crazy on sale right now. I believe it's 30% off. It's Niners Empire, great logo. You're stuck in quarantine, but maybe you want to show off to your friends or your family who you're quarantined with. Maybe you want to show off to your dog that you're a 49ers fan. Why don't you go ahead and get this t-shirt, chatsports.com/NinerEmpire. Okay, the other cornerback I wanted to mention here who might be a first rounder, and again, let's emphasize might be a first rounder, is Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. Now, is he a first-round talent? Yes, but there are a lot of other players that are probably going to go ahead of him, especially at wide receiver, which we've talked about a ton here on the channel, but I wanted to mention Trayvon Diggs because he is one of the better zone coverage options in the NFL draft. He'll be probably an option close to number 31, but let's say the Niners wanted to trade out of the first round, pick up a second-round pick, then you can see a guy like Trayvon Diggs here from Alabama. I'm trying to give you guys a lot of names. That way, when the draft comes late April, you're like, okay, yeah, Thomas talked about him. Oh, yeah, Thomas talked about him. Well, you guys are informed, and you know what our 49ers are going to be due. Great size again here for Trayvon Diggs, 6'2", 207 pounds. He played against the best at Alabama, which we'll get here in just a second. Here's what the draftnetwork.com, again, one of my favorite draft websites, had to say about Diggs. Quote, the next level, Diggs profiles as a corner 2 or corner 3, but he also excels in press coverage. Using him predominantly in off-man coverage would not be ideal, although his time at Alabama, this is important, has exposed him to a variety of coverage techniques. Diggs profiles as a starting boundary corner at the next level. Talk about cornerback number 2, that's what the 49ers need, because they already have cornerback number 1 in Richard Sherman. Now, this does not mean that Diggs cannot eventually become cornerback number 1. He very much can become that number 1 cornerback once Richard Sherman is done, and another reason why the 49ers could take a corner is they have Richard Sherman train up the youth, train up the young corner, not just Mosley and Ahkello Witherspoon, but also a guy like Diggs or somebody else in terms of draftability. I mentioned the fact that he has played against the best while at Alabama. You look at some of the names that he's played against. Obviously, in practice, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, 2 of the top 3 wide receivers in the NFL draft. And then when they played against LSU, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. These are the best of the best, and Diggs has gone toe-to-toe. So getting in the National Football League, he's not going to be starstruck or shocked by the talent because he's played against some of the best in the National Football League. Other notable prospects we're not going to mention in this video, but I wanted to go ahead and get you guys just a list of some other names to be mindful of. Kristen Fulton out of LSU could be a first-round draft pick. Talk about DBU. He's not one of the better cornerbacks to come out of LSU, but still a very viable talent. Jeff Gladney out of TCU is for sure going to be a second-round draft pick. More of a slot cornerback, though. You're just going to see what happens with him. A.J. Terrell out of Clemson is also a second-round guy, and Bryce Hall out of Virginia will probably be second or third round. These are other names that, if the Niners were to trade back, could be an option as well. If you guys are watching this video, you're probably a 49er fan. Like, are we in agreement that if you're watching, you're a 49er fan? If you are and you have not subscribed, we are the best 49er channel on YouTube. Trust me when I say that. I put a lot of effort into this channel to make it the best. If you've been watching for a while, you know that it is. Give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, help us out. We're trying to get to 20,000 subs here on the 49ers Report. Scroll down, click the red subscribe button. That way you can be notified whenever we do brand new videos, which is like almost every single day, especially leading up to the NFL Draft. Live video on Thursday as well. So if you're subscribed, you'll be notified whenever we go live for a Q&A. All right. So, 2 more here because we're talking about 5 cornerbacks the 49ers could take, and these are later round guys, probably 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round cornerbacks. I got 2 big names for you that are probably going to be diamonds in the rough and are going to be stars. And again, if San Francisco takes a cornerback in the 5th round, or if they trade out of number 31, which we've talked about a lot here, pick up a 2nd, pick up a 3rd, pick up a 4th. These are guys I think you would have to take because of how talented they are. Starting with Lamar Jackson. Yes, Lamar Jackson. No, not the quarterback out of Louisville, you know, the Baltimore Raven, you know, Lamar Jackson. No. This is Lamar Jackson out of Nebraska, the next great Lamar Jackson in the National Football League. A very rare talent because he has the size that is elite in terms of a cornerback. He's massive compared to everybody else. Everybody else we're talking about 5'10", 6'1". He's 6'3", 215. When you have that sort of size, if you can use it, think Jalen Ramsey, then you're able to dominate in the National Football League. Again, emphasis on if you can use it, because there are a lot of tall cornerbacks that come in the National Football League, cannot use their size, don't have a lot of speed, and are unable to keep up with the smaller Antonio Browns of the world, you know, the smaller guys that are able to run great routes. Lamar Jackson is able to do that. That's why he had the best season his entire career, his final year at Nebraska in 2019, and made the second team All Big Ten. 3 interceptions, 40 tackles, 1 sack, 4 tackles for a loss. Great stats from Lamar Jackson. And here's what SB Nation's draft expert Dan Cater had to say about Jackson. Quote, "The first obvious thing you notice about Jackson is his size. There just aren't many 6'3", 215-pound cornerbacks out there. And the key to being that big a cornerback is utilizing it. Jackson often does in how he reroutes receivers and gets his hands on them at the line. The team needs a corner who can handle 6'3" or 6'4" wide receivers. Jackson is your man." Guess what? The 49ers are going to be playing a lot of 6'3", 6'4" wide receivers this year, because look at the notable wide receivers in the NFC West. Good Lord. DeAndre Hopkins is here now. Larry Fitzgerald is here now. Cooper Kupp is 6'3". We forget about that with the Rams. DK Metcalf is massive. Lockett's a little bit smaller, but there are a lot of elite wide receivers with size in the NFC West. And Sherman, again, not going to be there forever. And so if you wanted a guy to go toe-to-toe with DeAndre Hopkins twice a year, this is your guy in Lamar Jackson. To me, one of my favorite cornerback prospects in the entire NFL draft. Whoever gets him, whether it's 3rd round, 4th round, I doubt he falls to the 5th, but a 3rd or 4th round draft pick is probably going to have one of the better man coverage, big, you know, bump and run cornerbacks in the National Football League for many years to come. He might be my favorite cornerback prospect. Who is your favorite cornerback prospect? Let me know in the comments section down below. Is it one of the guys on this list? Is it somebody else? Are you going to cop out and say Jeffrey Okudah? That's fine. Just type it in the comments section. The final one I want to mention here, I'm doing my research on this. You know, I spent days trying to get ready for these shows to make sure you guys are as notified as I am. And I came across a diamond in the rough from Louisiana Tech. I know, right? Like, not a lot of great players come from Louisiana Tech, but Amik Robertson is one of those guys. Very undersized, very underrated, but they have said, many draft experts I read about were saying, this is the next Honey Badger. Yes, this is the next Tyrann Mathieu. So I watched the film and I was like, good Lord, he might be. Tied for the nation last year, most pass breakups in 2019. The reason why he's a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick and not a 1st round draft pick, very undersized. He's like, he's shorter than I am. 5'8" is what he comes in at, but he plays so aggressively and plays so well that he makes up for his loss in size. And this is another guy the 49ers could get if they were to trade out of the 1st round. NFL analyst Lance Zierlein on Robertson said, smallish outside corner, wait for it, with tremendous intensity, swagger, and toughness. Does that just not go ahead and describe Tyrann Mathieu? That perfectly describes the Honey Badger as well. He had a great year last year, and let's just say San Francisco is there in the 3rd or 4th round if they were to trade back. Or, as you see your day 3 picks on your screen, if this guy falls, if Robertson falls to the 5th round, you got 2 5th-round draft picks. You could package that, you trade up, get a 4th. There are a lot of options to go ahead and get this guy. He's small, but he can play a lot of different places, probably playing the nickel a lot, and this is something that the 49ers could really, not necessarily use, but if he's as talented as everyone's saying he is, and I'm telling you, I watched the film, it's a guy with a very high ceiling in the National Football League. I just wanted to throw that name out there for you guys as well. There you go. Which cornerback, answer this final question, which cornerback should the 49ers draft? If you had to pick one from this list, give me his name in the comment section down below. I'm expecting to see a lot of Lamar Jacksons. I might have convinced you guys on Lamar Jackson being as great as I'm telling you he's going to be after this draft. We'll have to wait and see what you guys think in the comment section down below. There you go. Listen, do the 49ers absolutely need a cornerback in the NFL draft? No, I mean, wide receivers and a definite need. Maybe D-line is probably a need. Corner is a need, but it's not number one. But if you wanted to go ahead and get one, which the 49ers, you know, who knows? John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, maybe they want to do it. These are the 5 guys I think you'll look at. Hopefully the list is something you guys enjoy here. We do a lot more of this going forward on the 49ers Report. More stuff tomorrow and a live Q&A coming up Thursday night. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed and ready to go. All the time we have for today. The 49ers Report. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Enjoy the rest of your day.